Terry Rozier this year is making $26.6 million. He has made so far in his NBA career over $160 million. If these FBI allegations are true, he is likely to spend time in prison and his NBA career is likely over, all as the result of around $200,000.
The NBA's newest scandal has fans straight up stunned. Terry Rozier, one of the league's smoothest scorers, just got tangled in a gambling mess that could wreck everything he's built. And now, the FBI's latest reports dropped a bombshell. The real mastermind behind it all was someone he's known for years. Here's the crazy part. Everyone's wondering the same thing. Why would a guy making $24 million a year risk it all for some tiny prop bet? It just doesn't make sense. Terry Rozier wasn't some desperate rookie. He was supposed to be untouchable when it came to this kind of stuff. But now we finally know what dragged him into this chaos. And honestly, what the NBA did next might be even more disturbing. If this turns out to be true, it could make the league look 10 times dirtier than anyone ever imagined. But before that, let's rewind. Back to Rozier's story. You can kind of understand when a lower-paid player like Jonte Porter gets caught up. Dude was only making around $400,000 a year. When easy money slides across the table, temptation hits different. But Terry, he had it all. The contract, the fame, the sneakers. So how did this even go down?
Guys, this year alone, Terry Rozier is making over $340,000 per NBA game. He makes almost every half what is alleged that he made or facilitated the making of through prop bets every single half nearly that he plays in an NBA season. If he did this, this is dumb on a moron level, the likes of which we have rarely seen. He risked his entire career and his entire freedom for roughly what he makes in one half of every NBA game. And he would set up to make a lot more money because he's still, I think, only like 31 years old. So relatively speaking, he is still a young man.
The FBI just revealed the name of his so-called partner in crime, De Niro Laster, a childhood friend who basically grew up hooping with him. Reportedly, De Niro hit him up like, yo, if you can slide me a little inside info, there's a dude offering $100 grand. Rozier probably figured it was harmless. All right, bro, I got you. It was late March, no playoffs, no big deal, right? Just one little favor, one fake injury report, one tiny lie. But that small decision blew up his entire world because De Niro didn't keep it quiet. He handed that info straight to Marvis Faley, a known high-stakes gambler with a sketchy reputation. And if a guy like that is tossing out $100,000 for intel, you already know something huge was about to explode. That one favor turned into a nationwide gambling web, spreading faster than anyone could control. What started as a quick hookup for a friend ended up pulling Rozier into one of the dirtiest scandals the NBA has seen in years. Make sure you hit subscribe because this story is only getting wilder. You had Shane Hannon dropping $61,200 on Rozier's unders, Timothy McCormick going all in with a wild $207,000, and a dude named Long Fee Pham throwing down another $41,000. And it didn't even stop there. Someone else bet $20,000, another tossed $17,000, another $12,500, and even a couple smaller players threw in around $4,000 each. These guys built a full-on underground betting network, and Rozier had no clue he just lit the fuse. It all started from one small convo with his childhood homie.
This speaks to the state of sports media right now, where so many of the media outlets, including ESPN, are taking gambling money or have a sports book so that when they're talking about a massive historic gambling scandal, they're still selling you on sports gambling. And so when something like this breaks, so many of the media outlets aren't prepared or capable of covering it in the way that it deserves because there's a massive conflict of interest because sports gambling is propping up so much of sports media right now. And I think the question of whether or not making sports gambling illegal would prevent this is almost besides the point. The real issue is that the mindset of gambling has completely taken over America.
And suddenly, a random Thursday Hornets game turned into a magnet for hundreds of thousands of dollars out of nowhere. You can't tell me that didn't look shady. It was practically a neon sign flashing, "Investigate me." But of course, the internet did what it always does, twisted the story. Lazy blogs and fake insiders started spreading garbage like, Rozier threw the game for $200,000. That's completely false. He never made that money. That was just the total amount bet by the gamblers, not a payout to him. Here's the real deal. Dinero Laster, the same friend who dragged Rozier into this, was promised a $100,000 payout, but he only got around $20,000 tops. When he finally got that cash, he even showed up at Rozier's house, counted it out right there, and tried to hand some to him. And Rozier? Probably trying to keep his hands clean, maybe even chill about it. Hit him with a, "Nah, bro, keep it. I don't even need it." But that moment, right there, sealed his fate. One bad choice, one favor, and now his whole career's on the line. People don't realize this. It's not always greed that takes players down. Sometimes it's loyalty to the wrong person. Rozier thought he was just helping his old friend out, but he ended up walking straight into a trap. And that trap's got him locked tight. Man, they really put cuffs on him, wrists and ankles. Rozier had to put up his own house just to make bail. Imagine that. Everything you worked your whole life for, on the line because of one stupid mistake in one regular season game. But here's the craziest twist. As bad as that sounds, what the NBA did next might actually be worse. Because now, there are rumors flying that a full-on cover-up might be happening behind the scenes.
And the league is still running, which is still going. Rozier turned it over again, having a tough night. And Rozier off the DHO, and he turned it over, turned it up. But you don't want to play with your team, especially against the Miami Heat. I tell you, hey, you don't like playing in Miami? Yeah, they do. Lock down to 3. They got to get busy. Rozier with a 9-1-1 comes up short. And on barrel. Rozier contested 3 is short. The ultimate teammates and sacrifice so much. Rozier on the show and go. That all year. Empty corner 2-man game. Rozier with a 3. Anderson with a rebound. Rozier relocates for another try. Well, that was awfully.
Word is, league officials knew way more than they ever admitted, and some insiders claim they even tried to bury key evidence to protect the league's image. If that turns out to be real, Adam Silver himself could be in serious trouble. There's a conspiracy brewing, and it's bubbling hotter every day. It all started on January 20th, 2025, the exact day the world found out Rozier was in deep trouble. The NBA dropped a calm corporate statement saying, in March 2023, the league was alerted to unusual betting activity connected to Terry Rozier. We conducted an investigation and found no violation of NBA rules, but we're aware of an ongoing federal investigation and are cooperating fully. Sounds neat and professional, right? But let's be real. Something about that statement reeks of damage control. Like, yeah, we knew about it, but no big deal. Hold up. If they knew back in 2023, why didn't they tell anyone? They sat on that info for 22 months, almost 2 full years of silence, while fans and players had no clue. That's not just weird, that's a massive red flag. Now let's rewind to that March 2023 game, the one that started this whole mess. Rozier supposedly injured his ankle mid-game. But watch the clip closely. He comes off a screen, rises for a clean mid-range jumper, lands perfectly fine, and then suddenly grabs his ankle and limps off. No contact, no twist, no reason. It looked more like acting than an injury. Within hours, sportsbooks across the country started lighting up. Out of nowhere, massive bets started pouring in on Rozier's unders, and that's when alarms started going off. Sportsbooks hit up the NBA immediately, basically like, yo, something's off, there's weird money flying in on a random Hornets game. And what did the league do? They benched Rozier for the rest of the season.
X-ray tables, secret shuffling machines, and decoy cell phones. It's the NBA meets mafia gambling scandal that's rocking the sports world. In a week where the NBA should have been focused on the start of a new season, the league instead playing defense over sprawling federal cases involving a head coach, a player, and mobsters.
Quietly. No explanation, no press conference, just silence. And that's when fans started realizing this might not just be a scandal, it might be a cover-up in plain sight. Sure, there were only 8 games left in the season, but let's be real, it wasn't because of some ankle tweak. The truth is, the league already knew something shady had gone down. And here's the wildest part. This wasn't even an official NBA investigation, meaning they had the info, they saw the signs, and they still chose to say nothing. Now look, at first, maybe you can kind of understand their logic. They didn't want to wreck a player's whole reputation if the rumors weren't confirmed. That part makes sense, for like a week or two. But they stayed quiet for months, while everything spiraled behind the scenes. And here's where it gets crazy. They let Terry Rozier get traded to the Miami Heat while this whole situation was still under federal investigation. Like what? Imagine being the Heat's GM, or even a fan, and finding out later that your brand new player was being looked at by the FBI and the league didn't say a word. I'd be furious. When reporters pressed Adam Silver about it, he gave the weakest response possible. His excuse? Well, the NBA doesn't have subpoena power. We can't threaten jail time. All we could do was check Rozier's phone and talk to him and everything seemed fine. Come on, man, that's not good enough. If Rozier ends up guilty, the NBA can't just shrug and say, oh, well, we tried. Not warning the Heat, a team investing millions into him, feels shady as hell. And when you really dig deeper, it starts looking like Silver might have actually buried this story on purpose, all to protect the league's clean image. People are already calling him out, saying if he could downplay the Kawhi Leonard drama like it was nothing, then what else has he been hiding behind those boardroom doors? It's starting to look like his top priority isn't the truth. It's the money. And here's the smoking gun. The NBA found out about Rozier's injury scam all the way back on March 23rd, 2023. And what did they do? Stayed silent for over a year. You know when they finally came clean? Right after they locked down that monster $75 billion media rights deal in July 2024? That timing isn't a coincidence. You can practically picture it. The report lands on Silver's desk, he flips through the pages and just mutters to himself, nah. This can't leak right now. It's starting to feel like the real game isn't being played on the court. It's being played in the offices of the NBA itself. We're talking billions on the line.
Of the iceberg, when you're dealing with gambling, they say, in the NBA. Besides Terry Rozier, prosecutors also charged Portland Trail Blazers head coach Chauncey Billups and former Cleveland Cavaliers guard and assistant coach Damon Jones. The indictments say members of the Portland Trail Blazers, for example, secretly fixed a game and the bettors used that information for wagers. The indictment says, quote, the Trail Blazers were going to be tanking, i.e. intentionally losing, to increase their odds of getting a better draft pick in the upcoming NBA draft. Several of the Trail Blazers' best players would not be playing.
This wasn't just a random decision. It was a cold, calculated move that screams one thing: damage control. Now, I'm not saying this 100% proves Adam Silver had shady motives. All we've got are the facts and the timeline. But when you lay it all out, man, it doesn't look good. And you know who's got every reason to be furious? The Miami Heat. They traded for a player who might have been under federal investigation the whole time. And to make things worse, Rozier's been awful since joining them. In his first game, he was technically available but didn't even touch the floor, didn't make the rotation. That's how bad things are right now. So now the big question is, could the Heat actually push for salary cap relief or even try to reverse the trade altogether? At this point, anything's possible. If I were the Miami front office, forget Rozier's deal, I'd be fighting tooth and nail to get back that first-round pick they sent to Charlotte. That's the real pain here. Imagine trading away a premium draft pick just to end up with a player wrapped in federal controversy, barely putting up numbers, and now dragging your whole franchise into the mud. You'd want that pick back immediately. But hold up, that's not even the craziest part. While the league's been scrambling to keep the Rozier situation quiet, the FBI just dropped another bomb. And this one's got mafia ties. According to the report, Chauncey Billups, yeah, Mr. Big Shot himself, was allegedly involved in luring high rollers into rigged poker games designed to bleed them dry. You heard that right. Rigged poker games tied to organized crime. And honestly, if the mafia's big celebrity recruit is Chauncey Billups, they're down bad. Like seriously, even Scorsese couldn't turn that into a blockbuster. But then, boom, things took an even crazier turn. Sports journalist Pablo Torre revealed that Kevin Garnett might have been part of one of those games too. And apparently, he wasn't the only one. Word is, several former athletes were spotted at those same tables, unknowingly caught up in something way darker than just poker nights. If that's true, it's wild beyond belief. Because let's be real, Kevin Garnett made over $300 million in his career. There's no chance he'd knowingly play in some rigged mafia game. What's $7 million to him? That's pocket change. But that's exactly what the FBI's report is saying. That the games were fixed and some of the biggest names in basketball were being used to lure in the rich and reckless. This story's unraveling fast, and every new layer makes the NBA look dirtier than ever. Don't blink, because this is just getting started. Subscribe right now, because trust me, the next part of this scandal will blow your mind. Those games ended up pulling in over $7 million, straight up stolen money. So if Kevin Garnett really was there, he probably had no idea what was happening behind the scenes. And honestly, if that's true, maybe Chauncey Billups didn't either. Because if Chauncey's innocent, his biggest mistake wasn't gambling, it was trusting the wrong people, especially Damon Jones. Yeah, that's right. According to the FBI, Damon Jones, a former NBA assistant coach, was literally selling inside information. That's the bombshell detail that dropped during the latest FBI press conference, and it changes everything. Everything else, from Rozier's betting ties to the rigged poker games we already knew. But this is next-level corruption. Still, let's be real. This whole mess is a disaster for the NBA's image. Fans have joked for years that games are rigged, but after this, it's starting to sound a little too real. And now, all eyes are on Adam Silver, because if he doesn't step up fast, this could blow into the biggest scandal the league's ever seen. And here's the crazy contrast. While the league's reputation is getting shredded off the court, the actual basketball has been straight fire. The start of this season has been one of the best in years. That Rockets Game 1, absolute chaos, highlight after highlight. But it also exposed one brutal truth about Houston. Even with KD on the roster, there's still one huge weakness holding them back. And unless they pull off another massive trade, that weakness might cost them everything. But back to the drama. What do you think really happened here? Was Terry Rozier just trying to help a friend and got burned in the process? Or was there something way bigger going on behind closed doors? And did the NBA really handle this the right way? Or did they quietly try to bury the truth to protect their image? Drop your thoughts in the comments. I seriously want to know what you think about this one. And hey, if you're new here, don't just scroll, smash that subscribe button. Hit like, share this with your friends, and stay tuned for more wild stories straight from the court. Thanks for watching. It means everything. Catch you in the next one. Peace out.